JJ in the mix.
What's up, beautiful people? Today we got a cool episode. I talked to a local Virginian who is a soldier who was in the National Guard and previously was a freedom fighter in Syria. I talked to him about his basic training experience, and I asked all the questions I've always been wondering about basic in the Guard. Guys, stick around. It's a cool episode. You know what I'm saying? You do know what I'm saying. I have my faith in you. Don't forget, dude, do not forget that the link to the Discord is in the description. Join the family. If you got some cool stories, share them with me. You can reach me at Rogan Runescape at gmail.com, baby. Baby. The National Guard, bro. So there was a point like maybe last year where I was like really looking into it. And have you heard this guy named Matt Ward on YouTube?
I can't say I have.
Okay. Well, he does really cool videos about like kind of what to expect and like, you know, things like, you know, get used to not touching your face because like, you know, you're not supposed to. So it was interesting to hear like these little inside tips and stuff. What's your MOS?
11 Bravo infantry.
You don't have to.
Only way to be.
Okay.
Love infantry.
So it's 2 months, right? It's 2 months of basic and then 5 months of AIT.
So what they did now is the infantry thing. So what we do is we do OSA. It stands for One Station Unit Training. It's all done in Fort Benning, Georgia. And when I did it, it was like a 12-week process, you know, not ridiculously long. But now they have a 22-week process, which honestly I think is a smart idea because it's the most dangerous job in the military. You know, your only job is literally to like run and gun. So I think it's honestly important that they have more, you know, physically demanding stuff, more
Very
like
true.
More in-depth training. Like I've got a guy that one of my buddies, he was in the Marine Corps and now he's joined the National Guard. And it used to be that you could be in the Marine Corps and then just not have to go through basic again. And he's told me that it is so many times harder nowadays to go through infantry basic than it is to go through or infantry OSA than it is Marine Corps basic and Marine Corps infantry school. But there's a lot of things, like one of the things is all of your drill sergeants are going to be infantry, whereas like you go to a place like Fort Jackson or Fort Sill, you're going to have a mix of different people, and some of them might be like really relaxed and laid back, and some of them, you know, some of them are going to be really chill and like calm. But when you're at Fort Benning, I know that they did away with the shark attack, which is when
you get off,
which
the
is
bus,
crazy.
Right?
Yeah, they still had that when I was there, and it was like just 1,000 people yelling and screaming in your face, and like I was all right with it. Before I even
heard
joined,
Matt talked about that. Matt Ward talked about the shark attack.
Yeah, I think they still need
smoked.
to have it. Yeah, so you're still going to get smoked. I don't think that's ever going to go away. It's like you're always going to get smoked. Like if you do something dumb, they're going to make you pay for it. You know?
And your whole squad, right? Not just you, but like
Yeah. So when you initially join, it's going to be your whole squad, like everybody around you. Basically, they're going to make everyone pay for your mistake so that at the end of the day, you're going to learn one way or another, because you're either one, going to be an empathetic person and feel like shit for getting everyone else in trouble, or you're going to get the absolute shit beaten out of you by your battle buddies, and they're going to be like, fuck you, dude, you got us fucked up for such a stupid thing. They're either going to side with you and be like, yeah, dude, you're all good, you know, you fucked up, we all fuck up, or they're going to like, it's all dependent on your attitude. Like me, I never actually got anyone smoked and never got smoked myself. Like I was a whole ton older than most of the guys that went in. Like I turned 30 years old in basic training.
Awesome, dude. I'm 27, so I've wondered if I could potentially still do it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
good to
yeah,
know.
you definitely could. Like, so the other thing, I don't know if Matt's ever told you, but before that, I had volunteered in Syria with the Kurds. Like, I was on the news with Kurd Autry and all sorts of shit.
Dude, I think
Like,
he did mention something about that. Were you doing contractor work?
no,
Allegedly?
I went and joined on my own volition. Actually, like, I volunteered with the Kurds back in 2015 to 2016. Like, if you ever go to Reddit RVA, I've got the #1 post of all time on there as well.
Oh my god. I'm about to look.
Yep, #1 of
Oh,
all
so wait, what
time.
did you do? What'd you do?
Same deal. Like, I was doing infantry kind of infantry tasks. Still working as a rifleman. So it was a whole fucking experience.
Man, what was that like? The obvious question, staying in, you said Syria, right?
Yep, I did that for 8 months. It was brutal. It was honestly the best and worst thing I've ever done in my entire life, if that's one way I could say it. Like, it was very fulfilling, but also, like, saw and did things no human should ever like have to or should want to. Like, I didn't actually have to be there. I went and
Yeah.
joined by myself, and that was mainly because during that time it was the Obama administration, and the standards on joining the military were so high. I couldn't do it. I had a little bit of a record and all that good stuff,
The army's
but
the most forgiving though, right? Like, for example, with like
yeah.
because you, like, if you were to have like if you were someone that had like a marijuana charge or something like that,
Oh, they'd
cannabis
be
really,
cool with that. Yeah,
you
they
just
would
have
be
to get a waiver,
100%.
right?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
have to like
I
write.
yeah, it's so what you have to do is, like, I even had to do it, and there's no law or rule stating that you can't have gone and joined a foreign military to go fight outside, but I still had to write a essay and give them some history and let them know what my whole deal and why I went and did that. So, but
What
that's
did
the
you
cool
eat?
thing. Oh,
What did you
out
eat
there,
in Syria?
not much. But a lot of it, like, mostly it was like basic staple foods like potatoes, rice. We'd have some eggs and stuff. You know, that was
Right.
one of the big ones, is eggs or rice. Really, rice was the biggest.
6 grams of protein per egg, right? Like 6 or 7 grams per egg.
Something like that. Can't remember
Not bad.
exactly. Nah, it wasn't too bad. Also, like, to a certain point, you just start looking at it as just straight up fuel too. It's like, I'm just gonna shovel this in, and it's just fuel now.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I imagine that's how probably jail is for, like, a lot of people, like if they were to eat like the grits every morning, or like the bologna sandwiches, it probably at a certain point is just fuel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
so
like,
cool, man. What the fuck? I forgot about that. I didn't realize that was you that he was talking about.
oh yeah, yeah. That's one of the things, like, people be like, oh, that's that guy. For, like, it's how people know who I am. I'll be like, oh, this dude.
So, okay, so I'm curious. With the basic and the guard, how, like, is it running? I'm sure it's running every day. I know you do stretches every day, right? Like
Oh
some
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of
You do some sort
PT.
of, like, manual, like, no weight required, physical training, like PT. So you always
Right.
do that.
So, but like, how much, like, so I don't like to run. So, would it be like, are you running 7 miles like straight, or 3 miles straight in the morning, and then like 3 miles later that day every day? Or is it like, you jog maybe a half mile or a mile or two in the morning, and then do some PT, and then later in the day, maybe another mile or two?
So the most I ever actually ran at any point was about 5 miles, multiple times. Now, What they do is they build you up. They do like a 1 mile company run. Then, well, actually, no, it's never less than 2 miles because your PT test, like the standard is 2 miles.
Yes.
So
14 minutes, right?
If you're young, like when I went in, I had to do it at like I had to do it at a 15 miles for 2 of them. So it'd be like a 7.5 per each mile.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but at the
40
end,
push-ups.
yeah, around that. For my age, I think it was 39. But for like 17 to like 21, they got to do fucking how much is it? I think they have to do 42.
That's cool. So they work with you based off your age. That's cool.
Yeah, they have different age standards that you have to obtain. So here's the thing, the minimum passing score for you when you're older is lower, but if you want to get the max score, it's actually higher. Yeah, that's one of the interesting little things.
What about the shower, man? So another thing I've been thinking about is like what season would be the best to start in, because it's like seasonal, so like either summer or winter, right?
So
like,
all right, so here's the thing that
or
sucks
spring or
is
fall.
I went in around late August to September, so it was balls hot. It's fucking, it's Georgia. So it is just ridiculously hot. However, I went from what was it? Late August. So I actually ended up getting recycled because I ended up being too slow of a runner. So I actually had to go back and repeat a little bit, which that really sucked.
But you didn't get smoked for that? No one you were older, but no one was like, fuck you, bro, we're going to beat your ass with pillowcases full of soap. Like, no one did anything like that?
So when it comes to your physical fitness, like, they're not gonna smoke you for that because you're already lacking. What they're gonna try to do is they're gonna try to push you. So when you start like doing anything, they're gonna be like, all right, try to go faster, go faster, go faster. Like, and then it's also on you. You'll already be like as tired as you can be, and they'll still like encourage you to go run out after you're done, like run in the rock pit or run on the track. It all depends on your basic training class, because some of them will give you that like leeway to go train on your own. With mine, we had to run in the rock pit because they didn't want us going too far, and I was like, fuck that, that's too far. And I also just thought I would be end up fine over time, just I'd be doing good. Turns out I was still a little bit too slow, so I had to go to a single week of fat camp, is what they call it. But
how's the food in fat camp?
Honestly, so here's the thing that I was surprised by is in fat camp you can eat whatever the fuck you want, whereas
God.
Yeah. Other parts of basic, like, they'll see you if you try to go get ice cream, they'll like yell at you and like smoke you, and they'll be super critical of you. They'll be like, "No, you big fat fuck, you're not getting any ice cream. You got to have a PT score of this high." They'll treat it like fucking like an Xbox achievement. Like, you don't have enough of a PT score to unlock that.
Oh yeah, you got to earn your privileges.
Yeah, straight up. Now, oddly enough, what I was good at, and I thought it would help carry me to being just fine when it came to the PT test, is I'm really good at rucking, like, so to the point where people would pay me money to carry things in their backpacks, and
damn,
I would beast it, like.
You're getting like extra tuna pouches or like what, cigarettes or beer or something like that?
I wish cigarettes and beer. Sadly, you can't have any of that in basic
Wait,
training.
what's up though? Oh yeah, basic. Because I was gonna say there's something called here in Richmond. It's Fort over there in Petersburg. What the fuck is it called? I forget the name.
Fort Pickett. AP
No,
Hill?
no. What's over there in Hopewell? Fuck. Hold on, let me
Oh,
see.
Fort Lee?
Fort Lee, yeah, dude. Fort Lee has a gas station right across the street, and because I was like working there at a certain point for doing electrical, and like it was like a duty free alcohol,
Oh,
and
yeah.
so like if you have like a military ID, you can get like tax free out, like even at like a reduced like cost, it was like significantly lower. So you
when
can't
you're
have it though in basic. That makes sense.
Yeah, when you're out of basic, you can have like all that good shit. Like now you can't drink beer or anything like on job, and sometimes that's even excuse me, sometimes that's even like during the night when you're not doing anything, you just can't, you can't have it because you're going to be on duty early as shit that next day. But
Yeah, man.
when you're in
when
basic,
you're like your AIT though, right? Like basic, yeah, those 2 months you can't probably drink. You can't go off base, or you can't have your cell phone, right? You can't have like certain
yeah,
things.
you can't. Well, now I think you're allowed to, like, because my buddy, when like I said, he's in the much longer one, so I think they took a couple, while making it take longer and sucking more. Because now in the long one, like they actually have you do like full contact combatives and shit. Like,
Oh
you
shit!
with somebody, you get to punch each other in the face.
Oh
But
my god!
we did that anyway. We were like, "Fuck you, dude! Like, you got beef, you handle it."
So that kind of leads me somewhat to my next question. Did you have a cool battle buddy? Because for the listeners, if you didn't know, you're not supposed to go anywhere without your battle buddy. From what I understand, I could be
so
wrong.
I had some really cool ones. Like, I got along really well. Like in my first company, like I got along like famously with just about everybody. Like they loved me. They're like, there's
Awesome.
this fucking weird ass fucking guy. Like, he's actually gone, done stuff, been to war and all that. And they're like, this guy's fucking nuts, but he's fun to hang out with.
Oh shit! I forgot, dude. You had already seen battle before basic in the. Wow.
So they were like, this guy's a fucking nut job, but we love him to death. We had great times and always had each other's backs. But like when I went to my second company, like, dude, so you have your PG and your APG. That's your platoon guides. So my platoon guides, like, they would be cool one-on-one, but as platoon guides, one of them was in the Air Force as security forces. That's their version of an MP. The other was just straight up cops. So they were so up fucking tight, dude. Like, and here's the thing, I don't even have that much of an issue with cops or anything. Like, they're people just like everybody else. You got some cool, some sucky, some pains in the ass.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they are literally people. Like I've had a family friend that was a fucking black dude that was a cop, that was like basically essentially almost brought into the family and into like the white part of the family or whatever, like not looked upon for any color of their skin, like just like a friend, basically family. You know what I'm saying? He's always been a good dude, and fucking he's a cop. So there's people that
same, like in my unit, like that's the most common profession is for people to be cops. Like, but they're
it's
people
an impossible
too.
Rogan, I don't know if you listened to Joe Rogan, but he said something that was really like very true. He said that it's an impossible job, really, the expectations amongst people. Like,
oh yeah,
because you got to think, man. And obviously you probably know this better than anyone, but like, to put someone in the same group, here. Okay, so I'm not going to get too specific, but there's some suburbs here, like maybe where I went to high school and stuff like that are literally filled with cops. But then like in the city, you can get away with like more things and stuff like that. But there's a lot more like serious crime, like jackings and murders and shit.
Oh yeah.
in the city than there is in like the suburb right next to it. So it's like it's kind of a crazy job to have the same people pulling people over for speeding, you know, that you have dealing with like people with guns and domestic, you know, assaults. You got,
Oh yeah,
you know.
well, I
So
feel like a lot of
almost
cops.
an impossible job.
Yeah, well, one of the things is like one of the reasons I support like legalization of all substances is one, we're losing money in that war against drugs, and all the cop friends I have, they agree with it. They're like, this is a money pit, and no matter who or what we take off the streets, you can never stop the flow of drugs themselves. And one of the things that they personally detest drugs, a lot of them, but one of the selling points that I have with them is I'm like, why should it be your duty to deal with that in the first place? Like, you guys already have a dangerous enough job, and these people will do anything to stay out of jail. Why should you ever have to deal with it, you know? And they're like, huh, that's a good point. Never thought of it that way. You know, like I've got one, he won't like if it's a misdemeanor drug charge, he will not charge people with it because he has violent crimes to deal with, you know?
There's so many people that are retired now from the what would you call it? The fraternity or whatever.
Fraternal order of police.
Yes, there's so many people that there's so many people retired from that. They probably see that. I mean, I know personally friends whose dads have been military then police and have seen the way that people do things, and they just don't like that. But one interesting thing is like, and obviously this is probably a minority, so to speak, but you have to still realize its prevalence overall, would be the corruptness of certain prison guards and police that like would escort like legit gang members or just people that they know to their destination with the drugs. Like, for example, in in a local like in jail or whatever, in one like I'm as if I was referring to myself, one had smelt like within the first night of getting transferred into like the block had smelt weed in jail, and then found like Suboxone. Like people were like had those little strips or Subutex, whatever the fuck it's called, I forget the name, but those like little orange strips, they would dissolve it in toothpaste caps. Yeah, and yeah, dude, they were getting weed in the fucking jail, bro. And like I started to, or like I said, in this hypothetical situation or this story, I started talking to people like, how the fuck did this happen? Like, how is there weed in the jail like that? You know what I'm saying? Or like, not that I'm like super concerned, but it's like, you know, and then they're like telling me, man, there's some people, some guards and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That
yeah, well, I mean, it's gotta be because after they did no contact, after they started, it seems like they've done no contact visits. It's got to be either that or people throwing it over the fence. But I don't know what, you know, I don't know what the jail yards are looking like or if they even have yards anymore, you know?
I mean, it just, to me, you got to think about all the crazy shit in the world. There's no way that there aren't cops following their friends home or like on the police scanners, making sure that as their friends are running coke home, you know, they get shaved off a couple thou. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's no way, statistically speaking, that there's not that happening, or like the prison guard stuff. But overall, you were so right, man, about like the decriminalization of substances in general. And you know, Trevor,
Yeah.
and
Dude, no, fuck that. All you gotta do
Carson,
is
you guys
pick
want to,
your
you know,
friend
chime
up,
in?
put him
I'm
in the
not trying to
fucking
hog
backseat of the
the
cop
mic.
car and
It sounds like
grab
someone
him with
just
the
joined.
drugs.
Croc,
What's up, boys?
what's up, bro?
Not too much. Chilling.
Yeah, I see what y'all are talking about. I'm starting to get straight nuked in the clan wars, like flat out nuked.
Soul Wars, right?
Yeah, soul wars. That's what I mean.
Dude,
I'm
I'll
a
tell
little
you
bit
what, I
tipsy.
agree
Like
with
when I
you.
was at the river with fucking Matt, I
What's up, Krusty?
had a few
I
myself.
don't know. I think
Yo, so
if the
have you
government
ever,
would
Croc, I want to
provide
ask you
these,
how like your exams have been going recently, because I know you did the school stuff, but real quick before I do that, did you hear about like back in Richmond, bro? And I'm sure you've probably seen this tunnel entrance. It's over there on like in like Shockoe Bottom by that McDonald's. but or not Shaka, but kind of like near the jail, Richmond jail, over by that McDonald's, like down the hill. But there used to be an underground train that back in like the early 1900s or late 1800s. Because if you don't know, Richmond, Virginia is not only is Virginia the very first state of the United States. Supposedly, like, is now where we landed was either Yorktown or Jamestown,
Yeah,
and
something
then
like that.
and then it spread from there. But Richmond is also the capital of the Confederacy, and that's interesting within itself. To have like all those monuments, we had monuments of like fucking Lee. We had all these Confederate monuments that look way different now because people like, you know, spray painted them and like set up like basketball hoops and stuff around there, and like it's Richmond looks kind of way different than, like, in a way, like certain parts. But
Yeah.
Did you hear about that train, Kevin, that used to be like underground, and it would like take like the, I don't know, some like wealthy people or whatever in Richmond, and then it like the dirt collapsed and they all died under there, and they like sent people to try to go rescue, I guess, some survivors. They died, and so they just walled off the entrance to the train, and now it's under like whatever that hill is over there by like Alamo Barbecue. I forget what the name
No,
of it.
I did not know about that.
Seriously, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture, and I'll link it to you so you can see the entrance. They literally concreted off the entrance to this underground train where there's probably like all these not a lot of riches, but probably some jewelry.
I bet there is. Oh,
Yeah,
I just
man.
got doinked on again.
But Croc, are you still in here, man?
Yeah. The exams went pretty well. I won't know the results for another couple of weeks. That's the worst thing about these is, you know, you like spend this whole day taking this exam on a computer, so the results are instant, right? And
Right.
you have to wait 3 weeks to get the results. So
3. Oh my God, 3 weeks.
yeah, it's going to be 2 more Tuesdays. It's a really weird rule. It's 3 Tuesdays from your exam. You find out. And
that's a lot of fucking like waiting, dude, while you're like doing other shit. That's a lot of sitting there pondering, wondering.
So this is what I'm doing. I've already I have the exam like on Friday, and I've already started doing tests again. I did one of the like practice tests today. Because the worst thing is if I fail this, if I have to start over from point zero after 3 weeks of like just chilling, you know? So I've been kind of trying to upkeep the tempo a little bit in case the worst happens.
Right, man. As they say, what is it? Plan for the worst, or no, expect the worst, plan for the best.
Pray for the best,
something like
hope
that.
for the or pray for the best, plan for the worst. That's it.
That's it, exactly. So trying to do that, and otherwise, I just entered my first jiu-jitsu, so I'll be competing actually in a tournament, like a local tournament, on the 6th of March.
Nice.
And I can't wait to show off some 10th Planet bullshit.
Oh yeah, dude, he's 10th Planet, bro. Kevin, do you? I don't know if you listen to Rogan, like I was saying earlier, but you know, do you listen to Rogan? The podcast
Here and there. I like when people put it on. I always get invested. Like I had one buddy that was super into it when I was working for this place called Electric.
Oh my God, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I was working there for a while, and I had this one buddy. I'd be working in Roanoke, so I'd drive up every Monday and drive back every Thursday. And this one guy would play it all the fucking time. And when he was playing it, I'd be, when I was out there, yeah, when I was out there, yeah.
Dang.
I ended up quitting because they had us working in Roanoke, and they weren't giving us all that sweet ass money. I was like, yeah, fuck this, dude.
Right,
I was like, yeah, they're under new management, and they've just got some bullshit going with them now. And I was like, no, fuck this.
They're doing mainly residential, right?
Yeah, they're doing residential, and even the fucking commercial work that they're doing, it's not real commercial work. It's straight fucking. It's straight up apartments. It's residential fucking commercial. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Not
No,
the
I'd
real
seen some of the
deal.
boys at the local school, like back when I was in school for it and stuff like that. I gotta go ahead and take my test, man. This shit's in the way. But so that's cool. So you did electrical work too. That's fucking
Oh yeah,
crazy.
dude. I'm a man of many fucking trades. Like I've tried a million different things, you know, and a lot of it's not worked out. One of my favorites, I used to drive trucks too. That was a good job. That one was.
What was that like?
Killer.
Like I know it's like what it could be like what 30 to 50K a year, and
oh yeah, dude, you can make stupid money doing that.
Like entry level, I mean, like 30 to 50.
Oh yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
After a couple of years, they make 100K. You know.
Oh yeah, dude. Like you make it's the best alternative to a fucking whatchamacallit
9 to 5 fucking
to a 9 to 5 fucking degree kind of job, and it takes
a trade, like
so
a trade
much.
sort of.
Yeah, like well, not even just that, a straight up fucking like a degree, like you know, a regular degree job.
CDL.
You know,
you have to get the CDL for it, right? And
yeah, it's a great gig though. Like I don't know, and on top of that, you go and you get to see the United States. That's a really cool part of it too. Like,
dude, what is sleeping in the camper like? That sounds so fun. Like it's like a
it's not
one
bad.
person sleepover. I would like that.
Honestly, that's like the cool part is like you just you have your own little. It's also the other cool part to it is if you don't feel like paying for a apartment, if you're by yourself and you do that, you don't have to pay any rent.
True.
You don't have to pay any utilities. Like I know some guys, they like
fucking
live doing that,
stacking.
and they just stack so much money. What they do is they go and they take off of work, they take breaks. You know, they don't have to do anything. Like it's
so is it stressful though? Because like I know when I'm seeing like 18-wheelers on the road, not only does it like frustrate me just because they're big objects, and sometimes like I'm just impatient. I'm like, God damn it, why is there other people existing in my realm other than myself?
in my fucking who the fuck is existing in my goddamn my space?
So, yeah. Do you ever like does it, you know how people like I'll see all the time like people like beat up and then like get in front of an 18-wheeler and just like, you know, not even take into consideration how big that object is. And I know they have air brakes or something like that, but
yeah, I mean, but they
you know,
still don't stop that easily.
Give me the scoop.
Like it's great because so one, you can see past everybody because you're sitting so high up. That's the upside is you can see past everything, you know. However, if you're not ready, you know, or if something close up to you happens while you're paying attention to other shit, you know, you're fixing to get in a pretty bad accident, you know. But here's the thing though, the easiest part is actually driving it on the highway. That part's nice and chill, actually. What's hard is
you can play RuneScape mobile.
Yeah. Well, here's the cool thing. If you get a partner, the truck is
like
always
moving. What type of partner? Are we talking like a male counterpart in a marriage, or are we talking about like a driving?
About like a driving partner.
Okay. I'm just curious.
The cool thing is,
not bi curious, just regular curious.
Well,
I got awkward.
It's all good. You'll keep the truck rolling, and you'll make usually like say by yourself, you'll be making like 75 cents an hour or a mile. I mean, my bad, I meant a mile.
Okay.
So you'll be driving a ton, and that's already really fucking good. Like, you know, you'll start out making like 30 to 40 a mile, but say you have a driving partner, you'll make like 25 cents a mile or something. But the difference is when you're driving with a partner, so long as that truck is moving, you're always making that 25 cents per mile. So you'll sleep and that other guy's driving.
Oh my God.
Yup. Or you'll be up half the time he's driving and that truck will still be moving. Then you can play some RuneScape Mobile.
Bro, Trevor, we gotta fucking Carson, we gotta fucking be truck drivers, man. Fucking take shifts. Come on, man.
Oh yeah. Am I crunching the mic? I'm trying to eat something,
That's
but
too funny, man. You gotta share the truck. I could see it going on. They call it the RuneScape truck. You split an account while you split the road.
Oh, dude. It would be decked out for sure. Like I would definitely have like colorful LEDs in the cabin with like a light LED color changing light bulb.
oh, dude, people hook them up. People hook it up.
Yo, so I had one question before I forget. Croc, before you joined in, we were talking about how Kevin here is he's from Richmond, like myself,
Okay.
and but he had joined the Guard, and I wanted to hear a little bit more about that because I was interested in the process. I used to watch this guy named Matt Ward, and he would talk about a lot of what to expect. So I like had all these like questions and kind of was curious. But so the question I had was yes, the question I had was, how is the temperature of the water when you take showers in the morning? And also base that back to my previous question of what season would you recommend to join, spring, fall, summer, winter? And the reason I bring this up and bring Croc into it is because Croc does jujitsu with 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, which is Eddie Bravo's camp. And I think that's pretty cool. So my follow-up question would be, what type of hand-to-hand combat CQB do you learn as an infantryman in that process? And then from there, we go wherever.
So what you learn is you learn a system called MACP. It stands for Modern, what the fuck is it? Modern Army Combat Program.
Okay.
And what most of it is, it's mostly a combination of jujitsu as well as some wrestling involved. One of the things where I say is very jujitsu like is they treat your uniform a lot like a gi because it's really thick fabric. Like it's not gonna rip if you pull on it. So they use a ton of different collar chokes and stuff. Like,
yeah, you can get all kinds of different leverage on your opponent if you utilize the clothing as opposed to like just their body. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They use a lot of that. Like they use a ton of different like cross collar chokes, half collar chokes, whatever the hell they call it. I can't remember all the different names, but that's one of the things. And to get on your shower question, it's almost like, so I'll put it this way. It's like it's hot in the summer and cold in the winter. Like it's just the absolute opposite of what you want it to be.
Damn. Because I hate the idea of a cold shower, especially in the winter. Like I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm a bitch when it comes to the cold. Like as far as like wanting to put up with it. Like I'm a layer person. I work outside, in the winter in the dead snow sometimes, but I have layers. I have Carhartt bibs. I have like long john thermal pants and layers. But like in the Guard, I wouldn't imagine you'd have that luxury other than what you've been given to wear at the beginning. So
yeah, at the beginning
would be better.
At the beginning, yes. Like they issue you cold gear and stuff. We call it snivel gear. They issue it to you, but at the very beginning, they're not going to let you wear it. Like if they catch you with it, they're going to.
Damn. In the winter, they won't let you wear it?
It's got to be very, very cold. Like it's got to be incredibly cold for them to let you wear that. Like,
damn.
Yeah,
so
it's really
cold. I would be cold running.
Yeah.
Basically, is what it sounds like for the first couple weeks.
Yeah, well, here's the cool thing is like when you run, you just get hot anyway. Like,
For sure.
it's not
you warm up
such a
so
big
much, it's crazy. so often I take a sweatshirt with myself when I go running, and then like halfway through the jog, I'm like so sweaty I have to take it off.
Right, I can see that.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah. So that's like the cool part is like, you know, you end up just getting warm. Now, here's the thing that sucks though is also say you do layer up, like we did it's called the bayonet. It's the final ruck march that you have to do to get your blue cord. And your blue cord, it's the uniform identifier that you have for infantry. Nobody else gets it except for infantry. And basically, it's just a blue cord that you wear on your sleeve. So the final ruck march, the bayonet, it gets so fucking hot because like ours. So you start out, you do a 4-mile ruck march, a 6-mile ruck march, and then 8, 10, 12. You do all those. And you're always carrying at least 30 extra pounds because that's what your rucksack is. But
Okay, so it's not
pounds,
80. It's not
yeah,
80.
well, no, it'll end up that way. Like at your final one, you'll end up wearing that and your full combat load. But your very final, the bayonet, you end up fucking wearing all that. And for the first part of ours, for the first 4 miles, we had to wear a gas mask. Had to wear a gas mask, and then they make you carry even more stuff, and you go at a faster pace. It's meant to be the most brutal part of training, and it does get very brutal. And if you're wearing any sort of cold weather gear,
bro,
you will get so intensely hot.
Can you just throw it off? Like, just leave it in the woods? Like, fuck that.
I wish. Like you don't.
You
end up not
it?
having. So yeah, you have to carry it, and you end up not having time to take it off too. That's the worst part is you just end up not having any sort of time to take it off. So that's where it gets brutal in its own right.
Damn, man. That's so cool though to be able to like ask you these questions, dude. Like I was so stoked at a certain point, like probably last year. Around last year, I was I was eating like 4 boiled eggs, hard boiled eggs a day for breakfast. Like, cause I was like, all right, I'm gonna start packing. I'm gonna start trying to eat like lean stuff. So this is actually around the same time I was working at Fort Lee, for a different electrical company, and so I was working at Fort Lee, eating like those 4 eggs, which are like 6 to 7 grams of protein each when you're doing hard boiled, which is what I was doing. And then like for lunch every single day for like 2 months, dude, I'd eat white rice or brown rice with grilled chicken breast. I think I would use 2 a day, which honestly I could eat way more, but I think that was like just affordable, like really economical. So like 2 full chicken breasts a day, which I think is like 13 grams of protein for a smaller one. I'm not really sure. But yeah, dude, white rice, chicken, and veggies, just like a bag of microwavable veggies. And
I mean, you honestly can't go wrong doing that because you end up at some points you end up not getting a lot of food. Like, you know, that's one of the facts is you just end up unable to eat.
Yeah, no, that's like, I don't know, man. I love to eat and I love to be warm. That's why like I wanted to ask you some of these questions, especially the shower, dude. It sounds like such a cheesy question to ask, but I was legitimately wondering what is the best season to if you were to, if you were to want to join the Guard, what would be the best season for you to go to if you're someone that,
I'd say to acclimate, though. I'd say, honestly, to acclimate, I would highly suggest one of the milder, like spring or fall to acclimate. Right. But it also depends on where you're going to be doing it, too. Like, because, if you're in Georgia, like, you're definitely not going to want to go through in the summer. It's just brutal. It's just absolute sheer misery. You're just going to hate it no matter what. It's going to suck.
Do you have any stories or anything that you like to share? I kind of feel like maybe bringing like Carson or Trevor or Travis in the conversation. We got Croc here now too. I kind of just nerded out a little bit about asking any questions on the guard. But do you have anything that you'd like to share? We're not ending just yet. If you can go for like a little bit longer. But do you have any stories or anything? Anything crazy, funny? You don't have to all shower in a row, do you?
So when you first start, they do what's called a shower drill. It's where you're all together.
Sounds a little suspect.
It is. So it's when you're all together and they're like, all right, now start with your face, wash your face or wash your hair. And they give you like 2 minutes, rinse your hair, wash your neck and your pits. All right, now rinse your neck and your pits. You know, it first starts up with just ultimate control over you, like to really break down any idea that you have that you're doing anything that you want to on your own accord.
Right.
You know, that you're an individual. That's their big thing is they're like, you are no longer an individual. You have zero identity. You are not white. You're not black. You're not Christian. You're not Muslim. You are a man with your head shaved and your color is green now. That is your race. You are in the army. You are nothing else except for a soldier in the army. So that's one of the things that like I like to bring up because a lot of the Gen Z folks that are so used to having their identity be like, I'm this, I'm that. It's like, nope, you're not. You don't get to have an identity anymore. You signed that away.
Nothing matters. Nothing matters till you.
Nothing matters other than Nothing matters other than your ability to follow orders and finish them. You know, that's it.
You are an operator performing an operation.
Exactly.
Yeah, an operator operating operationally.
That's insane. I mean, that's got to be so like psychologically and mentally deep, and it's something that's been around since the beginning of humanity. As long as there's been humans, there's been war, and as long as there's been war, there's been a necessity for like this type of training. So that's like a really interesting, powerful kind of thing. This training, this kind of ability to perform under these specific circumstances.
One of the things I love is that I feel like in the United States we have an issue with individuality being put as a priority over so many other things. I feel like it's just nice because they really get that like I think individuality is a good thing. You know, I feel like everyone should have their own individual, you know, perks and, you know, identity. However, I feel like people, like especially the younger generation, they let it get into the way to the point where like I'm an individual first and foremost above all else, you know?
Let me share something with you that I wrote. I would love to share this with you. So I came to this conclusion recently because I was like on Snapchat and I kept looking at my Snapchat and stuff like that. And like social media and all that stuff. And I started to come up with this idea that let me find it real quick. Basically, let's see here. Okay, so AI is going to think that all people care about is themselves, but overlook the reason for the obsessive narcissism being in the lack of ability for free expression of the soul as an individual in the modern world.
Wow.
I think there's a lot of merit to that, actually.
So the reason why people keep obsessively going on Instagram, Snapchat, social media is because it's the only outlet that they have, unless they are wealthy and well off, like they don't have to grind or whatever. It's the only outlet they have to express who they are.
I think
right. even for the ones that aren't wealthy, it's really hard to find an outlet. Many people struggle with these things, you know. And you're exactly right, man. The AI is just going to feed off what people are putting online. And this is exactly what people are putting online. And I think you're exactly right that it's not going to get the meta understanding of the deeper significance of the cause, it's just going to see it and think that that's the true intention.
I think you might be right about that, man. I think
So
you
I
might.
don't know. It was just like a thought. I was looking at myself in the way that I handle like Snapchat. I'm like, dude, why do I keep like caring? Like, I mean, I know why. I think a lot, so I really can like I could justify it. The reason, I mean, if it even matters for this context, is the conversation. Reason why I care about my reach is because I believe that I have something to say to the world that can lead us in a direction that is not abusive in the sense of what we have been being led underneath. Not that I'm some morally perfect person, but what I have to offer. That's another reason why I don't sell drugs or like risk my freedom unnecessarily, unless it's for the sake of like some sort of just reason, is because there's some people that like, you know, they'll sell, you know, hard on the streets or something like that, but they were raised in poverty and maybe not very conscious as to what they can do to affect the world. But I feel like that it just through conversation, it's not even like really necessarily doing things, but just through having conversation like this, you come to realize that people are a lot more like yourself, and you learn about people. So,
Oh yeah, you learn to not otherize people.
So yeah, I just noticed that the whole narcissism thing, dude, like so that was my point. My point was the reason why do I use social media is because, and why do I care about my reach? It's because I know that I'm not using my reach I'm not using it to make money at all. Actually, I'm using it for a cause, like, and for understanding and for compassion and for community and for things that would make this world like better, like in the sense of having a conversation about hempcrete, in the sense of having a conversation about why is Virginia the first state and Richmond the capital of the Confederacy, but yet we don't have fucking a subway to get you from Short Pump to Sanson, or from like, you know what I'm saying, from like there. Yeah, we don't have a high speed rail, even though it was proposed to go from DC to Richmond. Loudoun County in Northern Virginia is the wealthiest county per capita in the United States of America.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yet we do not have a fucking subway.
Yeah.
Like, you mean the sandwich shop, yeah?
Well, you know, Jared, fucking pedo creep Jared over there, fucking $5 footlongs meant something different for him.
Is he
for real.
Is he a Virginia like resident?
No, but Chris Brown apparently had a place here.
Wow, sick.
He's from Tappahannock or whatever.
Yep.
Cool.
But so yeah, the social media thing. God, I feel like through doing podcasts, my memory is like getting slightly, but it's starting to like repair itself a little bit. But so the narcissism comes from the fact that people cannot express themselves freely as an individual in this world. For example, a very easy way for anyone to understand this that might not understand it or agree would be that you cannot take off 2 weeks of your life to repair your health. If you have something wrong with the muscle tissue or anything like that, or sickness or anything, it's actually like, for the most part, like especially the middle class, the working class, it's frowned upon for taking sick days. It's almost like an attitude
and
of
nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible to get 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Even to just
2 weeks. Oh, dude, 2 weeks and then keep your job, let alone missing out on the money that you would need for rent. But I just mean like 2 weeks and keep your job. Yeah, it's disgusting, you know? My mom's from Copenhagen, Denmark. She was talking about how, like, you know, 5-week holidays and stuff like this. And
all over Europe, it's like totally normal that it's like 2-3 years. And by the way, that job is waiting for the mom after 2-3 years, right?
Yeah. So it's interesting. One of the things is in the military, it's one place where you can do that. Like when you have, or the other thing is you end up working in a more catered capacity to your healing. Like you get what's called a medical profile. Like you'll still go to work and stuff, but say you get a profile that says no running, you will not have to run. or whatever part of your body is injured, you will not have to injure it anymore, do anything that puts it at risk for injury. So that's one of the cool things, one of the things where I'm like, the military is, in some facets or aspects, it's very progressive. In some, like for instance, shit, can y'all hear me? I ended up hitting my mic.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so in some aspects, it's very beneficial, like because you're still able to go in and work and not injure yourself further. In others, it's also just, it's a difficult environment. It's a hard job. Like, some days you end up working, you'll end up working literally 18 hours and only get a couple hours of sleep.
My God.
Oh, dude, when I was at the Capitol, it was like we were working 18-hour days. Like, technically, we had 14 hours on, or 12 on, 12 off technically. However, you always have to be early, so you'd end up getting back, like, we ended up having hotels. It's just like you never actually got to spend any fucking time in them. You know?
So then that you just reminded me something I wanted to bring up to you, and I feel like since you are a local homie, you can relate. I just recently, just like I shared with you the AI thing, I just recently had this thought, dude, about like, and now it doesn't scare me. It doesn't like, like, for example, why should it scare me? But like, isn't it interesting that Langley Falls, Virginia is the home of the CIA. And we have the home of government 2 hours, an hour and 45 minutes away from us, from our hometown. And how you watch like TV shows and how they're like undercover FBI agents, like, around the corners or like doing stakeouts. But like, we're like an hour and a half away from the home base of the CIA. What is, like, I just recently started to think about, like, what could there potentially be in, like, Richmond? Or, like, are there any if there's undercovers across the nation, why wouldn't there be some, like, literally, like, here? So, I don't know.
I know that one of the things is, like, they have an FBI building. Like, they have a bunch of field offices, and they've got them everywhere.
Over by, like, what? J-Sarge or, like, fucking Staples, Broad Street?
Oh, I don't know. They probably have multiple, like, in the county and in the city themselves. But I know one of the things that's interesting is, I don't know where it is, but I know they have, like, an FBI field building in Richmond, and it's, like, literally just around where everybody is. Like,
that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, shit, like, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't scare me because why should it? Like, it's not like, I'm spooked by the spooks. But it's like, and it's not like I'm antagonizing either. It's just more or less of a realization of, holy shit, the home base of the CIA is an hour and a half away from where I live. Like, what? But, okay, so that actually segues into another thing I wanted to bring up to you. So you said you were 11B?
Infantry.
Okay, so I was looking into 25 Bravo. Cybersecurity, and
oh, hell yeah,
for that you get one of the benefits, like you were saying about how the military is progressive in one facet, you actually potentially gain access to a free security clearance that would otherwise cost you like hundreds of thousands of dollars or a lot of time. It would cost the company hundreds of $1,000s, through their insurance or whatever the fuck, however they work it out. If you were to work for a tech company, it would cost that tech company to get you your security clearance. However, one way you could avoid that hassle and just get the top education would be to go into the military. And
so yes, like now one of the things that Trump put into office is that even 11 Bravos, like, it was shortly before I enlisted, you have to get a you have to actually get a secret clearance now. And yeah, it does save money. Like, say, so your secret clearance, when you get it, it lasts for 10 years. The average military contract, like active duty, is 4 years long. And your guard, they try to get you in for a 6-year.
Right.
So you have those entire 4 years after to get a job with your clearance. So it really does set you up, and that's on top of different school benefits and different.
In what ways is that clearance useful on the IT job market?
Very useful.
Just useful everywhere.
Okay,
like I know.
Here's what,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I want you to go ahead first.
So I know
I'm follow
guys
up.
that have no IT experience, like none at all. And one of the things that they were able to do is get a job because they don't have enough applicants with that clearance. So they're like, we'll teach you, we'll start paying you what everyone else gets paid, but we will teach you what we want you to know. So that's one of the cool things about it.
Now, one of the other cool things would be, this is basically, I'm probably going to butcher this word I'm trying to use, but geographically speaking, dependent on your location. But here, since we are less than 2 hours away from, the home base of the CIA, or, Washington, D.C., we are literally geographically located in the perfect position for IT jobs, which I just happen to go to Indeed.com right now, just so I can give y'all guys, I know I've talked about this on previous episodes, but if you were to look up like cybersecurity in Richmond right now, what the benefit of having a clearance would be that you would get these jobs. Like right now I'm looking at information security engineer, Chesterfield, $84,000 to $145,000 a year. What we got? Program manager, enterprise security architecture, $110K to $170K a year. 40 an hour, security analyst.
You'll end up getting stupid money.
Dude, you get stupid money. And so like ridiculous money. And this is like if for the off chance that anyone is listening here from Virginia and you are younger, maybe you don't know what to do. I'm not telling you what to do, but that's probably a pretty good safe bet.
No, I think anything to do with computers is a safe bet for the future. There's definitely not going to be less computer technology going forward, or information technology in general.